This is the Millcreek Government Channel, and I'm Judy Zelina. On our program today, we're going to be talking with two members from a nonprofit. It's called Cody's Wheels of Hope. What this organization is, just briefly, it makes children happy. And anything that makes kids happy, I just want to let our viewers know about, and I want our guests to let you know how they make these kids happy. So joining us, we have from Cody's Wheels of Hope, the president, Cindy Filson, and we have Chris Filson. Chris is the webmaster. He's got 3 titles, people, so bear with me here. He's the webmaster, he is the founding staff member, and he's also Cody's dad, because this organization is named after a special young fella, Cody. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Judy.
First off, let's tell our viewers exactly what is Cody's Wheels of Hope.
Well, we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we are fully tax deductible. And we started in memory of Cody after he passed away. And we give bicycles and other wheel toys to children with life-threatening illnesses.
Okay, could you tell us a little bit about Cody and how this all came about? It's a really beautiful, heartwarming story.
Yes, Judy. Cody really loved anything with wheels on. He had Hot Wheels and various toys, and he was really into bikes. My parents had given him a bike for Christmas in 2003, and in 2004, I decided to give his bike away to a child who was at the hospital that he had been at last in Cleveland. And upon giving that bike to the child, we found out there were other children who could have used it at the same time. So when I came back, I wanted to tell my parents what happened to the bike they had given him, and when I told them, that's when we decided there was a need for more bikes.
So basically, this is for bikes for children with life-threatening diseases?
Correct.
Pretty much so?
Right.
Okay, now, I know Cody was your inspiration. How long ago did you say that this got started?
It was in 2004.
2004. And Cody was ill at the time, and I remember you and I were talking about this, and Cody wanted to do this for that little boy, didn't he? That didn't have a bike. I think that is just so heartwarming. I know your logo has kind of a special meaning.
Yes.
Tell me how that came about.
Well, we had been looking for something that would identify us. And we were going over things in our head, and one day my husband and I sat down and we said, well, what are we going to do? Even if we can incorporate the initials or something. And we both looked at each other and we both drew our little drawing, and it came out the same. So all it is our initial CWOH in the form of bicycle. The seat represents Cody, and the 5 points of light represent his 5 years of life.
Aww.
So.
I love the logo. I really do. Now you give out bikes. Now, how would someone be eligible for a bike?
Well, the only requirements we have is that they're 15 years old or younger and have a life-threatening illness. That's the only thing we have. It doesn't matter financial status or anything. It has nothing to do with it. Those are the only requirements.
Do they fill out an application?
Yes, there's an application they can acquire online at our website. And it's important to note that it's not just bicycles either. Originally it was bicycles and bikes, and then we found there were a need for other types of toys. A quick example of that, there was a young child who was not able to ride a bike due to a medical issue, so instead got a wagon. We made sure it had seat belts, and so then we requested other things, so roller skates, baby strollers. There was one child who unfortunately was bedridden, who ended up getting a remote control car.
Oh my
So it became
goodness.
anything with wheels.
You know, because I was going to ask about that, because sometimes children really are too sick.
Right.
I mean, depending on what their illness is, that they may not be able to ride a bike. So you guys have all the bases covered, don't you?
Yes, we do. And we give helmets with the appropriate toys.
Oh, good. Good,
I
good.
think of safety.
Okay, now, is this just local?
No, it kind of started that way in a way, but through the internet and our website, the news kind of spread, and other people whose children got one,
Okay.
they got on these web rings with their child's illness, and it just kind of, so most of them are in Northwest PA and in the tri-state area, but we have actually given to children in 42 states now.
Have you really?
Yes, yes.
And this is just through word of mouth?
For the most part.
Pretty much.
And the hospitals, some of the hospitals know about us, and
Okay.
they help us out. They give information and applications to the parents. So we find out about them, they find out about us that way.
Make-A-Wish has also spread
Make-A-Wish.
information for us.
Right.
Have they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how wonderful. This is real. I just can just imagine those little faces when you bring that bike up. I can just see like a little girl with a little pink bike or wagon. Some little boy with a wagon.
Right. They get the same smile on their face Cody had Christmas morning. And that's what does it for us.
Now, I know privacy is pretty important
Right.
to a lot of individuals, you know, and you do. And how important is that to you, to respecting their privacy? How do you go about handling that?
Well, we never give out information about the child or his family or anything.
Okay.
And we only use first names and pictures if the parents have signed a release form saying that we can do that. A lot of them have their own little websites for their illness and everything, so they're already out there, and they don't mind that we use it. Some have other personal reasons that they don't want it
That
out.
they would rather them
Right.
not.
But if they don't want us anything out, we don't do that.
But at the most information we ever use, and you can see this on our website, under the Cody's Friends tab, is you can see a picture of the child with their first name and the city they live in. That's the
And
most.
not even that sometimes.
Not even
Sometimes
that.
just
Sometimes
their
just the
name.
picture.
And that's, like you said, and that's already, the parents have allowed that.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Well, I think the parents would want others to share in the joy
Right.
that their child, you know, is experienced right at that time when you're taking that picture.
Yeah, and
know.
even Facebook's been very good for us. We're on Facebook, and a lot of the parents, instead of sending us the pictures directly, they'll go right to our Facebook page and post them and put a little note.
Oh, that's a great
so
idea.
that's nice. So I repost everything, so the word gets out, and everybody gets to see them.
Well, now, see, viewers, you have to check them out. You know, you got to go to Facebook and you got to like them on Facebook,
Right.
and keep up with all the news. Speaking of keeping up with all the news, I know you guys have a newsletter. How
Right.
often does that come out?
I try to get it out about every 3 months. Sometimes it goes a little longer depending on how busy I am, but usually every 3 months. And in that newsletter we have events coming up. We have about the kids that we have given things to. It'll have their first name and their age and their city and what they received. Maybe a little story, side story about it if there is anything.
And how cute, it's called The Peddler. I do like that. So now people can sign up to get this. Is there a charge for this newsletter?
No.
No.
No, they can just go to our website and email me or call me, and I'll put them on the list. Right now it's just through mail, but hopefully we can get it on
An electronic version
the
of it?
website on it, or on our website.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good. Well, you got the right guy to do
I know.
that. You just have to tie him, tie him down and say, okay, this is what you're going to have to do. Busy guy over there.
Yes, he is.
You're busy too.
Oh, yeah.
Now, because I have to mention, we were kind of laughing, she is not only the president, she is also the newsletter writer and mailer.
And editor and printer.
And editor and printer and everything else. So she's got a lot, Cindy has a lot on her plate too. You know, I noticed on your website, you also have a wish list of other items. You know, you have people that are, you know, helping provide with donations and so forth, but you also have some other items that can help you out. What are some of those items?
Well, we can always use copy paper, business envelopes, postage. That's a big one. That's a big expense for us. Things like that. And sometimes if someone wanted to send a donation to us, not for the bikes, they could say, use this for some expenses, because we have license fees for small games of chance license, and other fees that come up, lawyer fees or whatever, and we could use it for that. And I hate taking away from the bikes, but we have to because these are things we have to do.
Because you do have, I mean, that's overhead, that is expensive.
And the phone expense.
Right.
And even the cost of just running the website too, the cost of having it hosted. And
Right. So people don't realize how much is involved in a nonprofit or any type of venture like this. So, but I think you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Now, I know you're talking about donations. People, viewers, if you want to send a donation, please feel free to send a donation. What would be the mailing address?
It's Post Office Box 8735, Erie, PA 16505, and that would be to Cody's Wheels of Hope.
Okay. And what is the website?
It's www.cwoh.org.
Okay. But also, you have some fundraisers. Can you tell us, let's talk about first about some of the fundraisers that you've had in the past.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about the new stuff you got going.
Well, every year, Kelly and Tim Sudarth have what's called Emily's Ride. It's a memorial poker run, and we have been the beneficiary of that for several years now.
Nice.
And it's just a poker run and in memory of all the people we've lost. And last year, Harley Davidson of Erie, during Bike Fest, raffled off a motorcycle, and we received half the proceeds from that, and AJO received the other half.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how exciting.
That was something. That was really good, you know. And there's been things for us. Earlier this year, there was the women at United Methodist Church in McCain had a ladies' tea party. They had speakers and everything, and a little tea party, and collected money. And then after that, the children of the church, we just received a check the other day. They collected money for a while and sent us a check too.
Did they really?
Yeah, that was nice. And then every year in June, we have our Cody's Ride of Hope, which is a bicycle ride. People collect donations, and we have trophies for the highest donations raised by a family, an individual, and a team. And so we do that, and well, there's just you name it. There's been all kinds of things for us.
You've done
We've done BMX racing in the past.
BMX racing,
Have you?
yeah.
This year we'll be going to our first. Joe and Amy Mikowski are having an event called Dash's Barbecue, and we'll be one of the beneficiaries this year for that.
Oh, okay. So all the proceeds from that are
Being
some of
split,
it's going to being split.
Yes, the other half is going to Lucy's First Step, who we are also friends with.
Okay. Another great organization. Now, I know you've got something coming up, and it's an annual event. And this year it is being held Saturday, October 17th. That's this year, but it is an annual event. So if you're seeing the show after October 17th and you missed it, just remember you got another one coming up next year. And this is called
Big Bash.
a dice walk. Big Bash for bikes, but it's called a dice walk. Okay, what is a dice walk? Come on, guys.
Well, if you're
You
familiar,
got to explain this to me.
if you're familiar with the dice rides or poker runs, dice runs,
okay.
and you go from place to place,
All
you
right.
roll your dice, you pick your card, whatever, and you go back. Well, every time we've tried anything like that, it's rained. And we thought, let's take this inside. So we did. So instead of going place to place, we have what we call vendor tables. They aren't selling anything, but they can show what they have. It could be an organization giving out information, and at each table you roll your dice.
All right.
And they mark your tally sheet for you, and each table will have a gift to raffle off too. And then you take your tally sheet to where the station we have it at, and we have cash prizes for the top 3, and we usually have a consolation prize for the lowest too.
I would probably be the lowest.
Well, then you're still a winner.
Yeah, but you still win.
Well, you know what? No matter what, you're still a winner.
That's right.
You know,
That's
because you're helping. You're helping to put a smile on some child's face.
Right. Right.
You know, so it's a win-win situation. So this is usually held, isn't it? Usually held at the Perry Highway Post Company
It has
every
been
year.
Except the first year, yeah. We've
Okay.
been there ever since.
And I would like to stress they are the only indoor dice walk.
That's right.
Which is a great idea because you're right. You keep trying to do these things, and if you do and then it rains.
And also it allows us to go further in the year after all these bike runs or poker runs and everything.
Because they
are
do them
done.
all through the summer,
Right.
and it's like almost every weekend you've got one going.
Right, right.
So you're like the last hurrah.
Right,
of,
right. We're the last party, you know.
of the poker runs.
Right. And we do have a band. This year it's Sunday Sound.
Okay.
We have a great buffet. I mean, people have been talking about our buffet. And the American auction, we call it. It's fantastic. And we have beverages. We have raffles, tip boards, what else? Door prizes.
So you guys just have a lot of fun.
We do. We have a lot of fun.
Well, viewers, you just have to come down and just check this out. I was noticing also some of your fundraisers, annual fundraisers, and you had mentioned Christmas in the Country at the Bayfront Convention
Right.
Center. Now, how are you involved in that?
Well, we've been there probably, this is our 4th year now, and sometimes we raffle off an item. We have had bicycles, kids' bicycles, or we had a basket for something one time. Last year we just sold our shirts and hats and gave out information, but they've also allowed us to sell the bags that people need to carry things at the show that they buy.
Right.
And we keep half of that too. We're allowed
that's
to keep
nice.
half of that.
That is
So,
nice.
and it's a nice 2-day thing. You know, we get to meet a lot of people and get a lot of information out about us.
And get the word out.
Right.
How many bikes or vehicles have you given out to date?
We figure about 650.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really hard to tell because when we first started, before the original start of this, we weren't really keeping track because it wasn't something we thought we were going to continue to do. So we were just giving them away. I mean, as a good example, there was one particular occasion where 10 items were delivered in one day to the Cleveland Clinic. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you who they went to or what they were at this point.
Right.
So we really didn't keep track at first.
Okay, but approximately 650. Wow, and it's growing, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, with every year,
Yeah.
it's just growing. This is such a great thing. I've seen some of the pictures on your website, and it just really does my heart good to they're just so proud in front of their bikes or sitting in their wagons.
Yeah.
Or what I admire too is that you have recognized the need that not every child is able to ride a bike, and you just want to make sure that you can make them happy in some way.
Right.
And it's not easy. I mean, I know that this all came from a very, very sad and heartbreaking event, losing Cody. But just to keep his memory going.
It keeps him alive for
Doesn't
us.
it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And he
Yes.
helps me a lot. I feel him there. He's helping
I believe
me pick.
it. I do. Now, how do you acquire your bikes? Okay, now, all right, say I have a daughter. Do you sort of like take orders on like what color they want, or do you ask for what their wish is? How does that work?
On the application, there's a couple different options. They can check off whether they want a bike or a wagon or some other wheeled toy. But bike, for example, they would then check off what size bike. Is it for a boy? Is it for a girl?
Okay.
And then what is their preferred colors, first, second choice of preferred colors. If at all possible, we will get the bike down to the individual color that they were asking for, so as close as possible to what they're looking for.
Oh, okay. All right. And then how do you acquire them? I mean, do you just go to different bike shops or locally? Do you get them?
Well, after we receive the application, I call the parent or guardian, and I discuss the child with them, see what their likes are. Sometimes they have characters, certain characters that they like or whatever. And I just get an idea for the kids. So then I'll get online and I'll order them, and they're shipped right to their house. Unless they're a local, we might go out and buy it, or I have it shipped to me, and then we deliver it.
Okay, because I was thinking in 42 different states.
We can't deliver that.
You got some miles on that vehicle, don't you?
We've personally delivered as far as 2.5 hours.
Would
like
you?
Pittsburgh
Do you?
area, we've gone.
Yeah.
Probably Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Buffalo.
When the
area.
gas
From
was
Ohio.
cheaper, it was cheaper to drive than shipping costs.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I get that. I do. So that's how you pretty much match up the bike with the individual.
Right.
So,
Right.
Now, again, if I wanted to make a donation, how do I go about doing that? Can I do it on your website?
You can go to our website, and we have PayPal there. You can do that. Or you can send a check or money order to our post office box. That works. Or you can find us. If we're in an event, just find us and just, you know, we sometimes have a jar there or whatever, and just give it. And another way is to come to our events.
And you have got to go to their website and see all the events that they do have. You guys really are busy. I mean, every time I turn around, you've got something going. Chris is making new T-shirts, and yeah. Now, volunteers are very important, aren't they? What are some of the duties that a volunteer would do?
Well, sometimes we need people helping to set up events, doing things there like at Bash. We have people selling tickets, or helping with the food, or other things like that we need help with, maybe at the door, things like that. So, and other things are like when we have our Ride of Hope in June at the Peninsula, we need people to put like table covers on the tables and get that all set up, the registration tables, things like that, and to do that work.
Volunteers are very important, though, aren't they? Now, you have a lot of sponsors or friends. Can you tell us who some of your friends or sponsors are?
Okay. Well, like last year, we had Harley Davidson.
Okay.
Erie Insurance has helped us a lot. And let's see, we've had Brendel Painting. They supply our trophies for us every year for the ride.
They? Oh,
yes,
nice.
that's always a big thing. Simply Red Beauty Salon. The Star Club has helped us out the last couple of years. Beta of Erie County has been very good to us too. They had a bullseye run last year, and we were beneficiaries of that.
Oh, nice.
So there's a lot of people involved. Sometimes it's a one-time thing, and other times they continue.
It's an annual thing that they just keep giving you. Different things. I think it's great. Well, it sounds like the whole community is behind you and very supportive of what you're doing. Well, how could they not? We're working with kids here, people. And your newsletter is very interesting, very informative. Again, this is another way to just keep up with any events that they're having, any fundraisers, you know, and whatever they do is fun. So, well, yeah, an indoor dice walk. Hello, I'm going to have to come and see this for myself.
I hope so.
I really. So, again, you were saying besides bikes, you also give like train sets and strollers.
It has wheels. We give it. We had a boy in a wheelchair, and we were trying to figure out what to get for him, and we thought, oh, trains. And he puts it around his Christmas tree at Christmas time. So, and we've given away a few sets of trains now because of the same reason. Remote control cars, little babies, they need strollers. The parents can't afford a stroller at that time, so we get them a stroller. Girls have gotten doll buggies, and there's scooters,
Oh my gosh.
As long as it has wheels.
Oh, well, I'll tell you one thing. I think this is a great organization, Cody's Wheels of Hope. Yeah, is there anything that we haven't touched base on that you wanted to mention?
Do you have anything?
Not in particular, no.
Okay, I think we pretty much covered the fundraisers, the upcoming fundraisers. Again, volunteers. They can always use volunteers at any of their functions. Cindy, again, a phone number, email, or website, how can people get a hold of you?
Okay, well, again, the website is www.cwoh.org, and you can write to me, Cindy, at cwoh.org, at CINDY. My phone number is area code 814-460-8228, and or just write the P.O. Box, 8735 16505.
Donations are always welcome.
Always
to that
welcome.
Post office box. Again, this is an organization that strictly puts smiles on children's faces. Cindy, thank you so much for joining us and letting our viewers know. Chris, thank you so much for taking the time and coming on the program. Viewers, if you have any questions, please feel free to give them a call. check out their website, and remember, got to like them on Facebook. You know how that is. Then that way you'll really keep up with what's going on. Viewers, thank you for tuning into the Millcreek Government Channel, and until next time, have a wonderful day.
You're watching the Millcreek Government Channel, powered by WQLN Public Media.